Oh, there's that side quest coming back.
Oh,
So I guess that, to put toward what here's in the greatest danger, like where is this? Like what sector of the neighborhood?
They are heading. You see that like you track their motion for a while, and a few moments, and you see that they are headed almost directly for the gym / that gas station area where you guys are.
Oh.
You realize that it's probably because that's where they lost contact with the gang members who were threatening people, and they want to see what happened there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to relay this to everyone. I'm sure we'll get Nix off of the rooftop here unless he turns around and sees something. But
Well, I'm assuming we have some kind of cell phones or other like
Telepathy
radio.
from her.
She does not have
No,
telepathy.
I have
She has
telekinesis.
She can throw shit. She cannot. She can throw stuff. She cannot
My bad.
transmit thoughts.
I said so. She can
But
throw shit.
I have an
She can throw
ambulance.
shit. She can throw stuff.
So I speak up kind of like, in a high, not quite panicked, but like, I'm on alert. I say, we have movement right in our area.
And I'll kind of hear that and wake up and go and walk to the middle of the street and then just kind of like, just get ready.
All right.
But then also on the side, I want to detail that on my same pad, I'm also putting almost on speed dial the agency
Interesting.
just in case anything goes wrong.
Sounds good. Does anyone else want to make any rolls quickly before combat is initiated?
I guess I'll do the assess the situation
Okay.
now. Or
I'll do that too.
Yeah, you were thinking about assessing the situation for like weaknesses and stuff, so that's a good idea.
yeah.
Oh, wait, and I already failed at that, right?
You already failed at that.
Yeah, okay.
Was it plus superior, right?
Assess the situation is plus superior.
So mine was a 9.
Mine was an 8.
Okay, so each of you gets one question from the list. I'll direct yours more about who it is and stuff, regardless of what you ask. But again, the questions are: what can I use? What here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is in greatest danger? Who here is most vulnerable to me? Or how could we best end this quickly? So you'll get some information about people, but pick your question.
May I roll to unleash power here?
What are you trying to do?
I am trying to use my psychic constructs to provide us with defenses in the form of maybe like barriers or something.
I'll have that be the roll to defend, actually.
Okay.
Which is going to be plus savior, I believe, unless you have anything that modifies it. Which I kind of doubt.
I don't think so.
What uses plus danger? Because I don't think we've had anything
The only thing that
rolls
uses
it.
plus danger is directly engage the foe, so it's the most important fighting statistic,
Okay.
but it has nothing to do with charisma type rolls in other role playing systems. It's the strength of this system.
Do you have your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I also have my question, so you can go first.
My question is from that success roll is who here is the most vulnerable to me?
You have been studying some of your older heroes, both since you've become a hero and since you have Carl Jung / Darkstar as your friend who's a big superhero fan. You recognize from the description and when you eventually see them that at least one of the people here you recognize, and he is Red Dragon. He's a kind of he's a late Golden Age and primarily Silver Age villain who was a trained assassin, but you know that he technically doesn't have any powers. He's very skillful, but he doesn't have any powers, and he uses like a sword. So you, as someone who's big and tough and indestructible, can probably get in his way and keep him from doing too much.
Okay.
I guess my question would be, what here is in the greatest danger, and specifically, like, where are they targeting first?
When they get into range, you realize that these two are focused on you guys first. They clearly have already scouted out the location, and you can see that they are trying to position themselves based on where you guys are.
Okay.
Okay.
So they have recognized that whatever they're trying to do otherwise is going to be too interference with by you guys, so they want to take you out first.
Okay.
Just for like curiosity, of what is the Golden Age, Silver Age Bronze Age
Sure.
superhero thing, man.
It's in this universe, it's a thing that is measured specifically, but it's based on the actual ages of comic books. Golden Age is the early comics where it's like Superman and Batman and the very early days when they were fighting like normal criminals for the most part and not super galactic threats. The Silver Age began when the Comics Code Authority was put into case, which was a set of laws that locked down what comics could do legally, like, you know, what they could show, and they blocked a lot of violence and that kind of stuff. So it became almost exclusively heroes fighting big intergalactic super weird threats, like big weird monsters with Lovecraftian names, or that's where all of your like Galactuses and stuff come from.
Oh.
Bronze Age is about the 80s, 90s, and there's various terms for this, but it's the ages where comics turned very violent and very dark. People had stopped paying attention to the Comics Code Authority because it didn't really mean anything anymore, and it became very adult. It was a lot of your Deadpools who were willing to kill people, and your X-Force who are all like X-Men, you know, mutants, but they also all have swords and guns.
Oh, okay.
Some people will call that the Iron Age. I tend to Bronze Age is a little bit early, like Wolverine, where he's still kind of dark, but he's not quite that dark. And depending on who you ask, we might be in a new age that's more like postmodern and just kind of willing to have fun and go along with the joke. But that's, again, it's getting kind of hard to argue at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What about Stone Age heroes?
That would be Captain Caveman.
Okay.
Or the Batman that's a caveman. Bat caveman or whatever.
These are just the cave paintings or the comic books of the time.
little cave painting of a guy with a cape on him.
It's like the BC comic where you get the tablets. And...
Oh, BC Comics. So your role to defend there, Liddy.
Yes. So they're kind of approaching us at this point.
They're
and
approaching. And
They
given that at least one, probably both of them are professional assassins, you might want to get those defenses up quickly.
Yep.
what time of year is it? Just to...
We haven't established. Does
yeah,
anyone
because
have
I'm
a
like, what kind of
preference?
lighting would be at 8 o'clock in the evening?
I'm assuming
depending
it's
on the time of
probably closer to winter because it's going to be darker then, and that's more appropriate, I think, themally. It doesn't have to be winter, but I think it's at least, it's dark out at 8.
Like November.
Yeah.
What is the phase of the moon?
So
I mean, because if it's a
I,
full moon.
All of the werewolves are going to be out.
I rolled a 12
Whoa.
for my defenses.
Okay. For NPC threats, you keep everyone safe and choose one. On a 7 to 9, it costs you. But you do not have, you got 10, right?
I got 12.
12. So you do not have to choose one of the negative ones. You instead choose one of the following. Add a team to the pool, and team was that mechanic that you could use to help people out and give them a bonus to their rolls. Take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
I don't think anyone has any. You have still. No, you're guilty.
I'm good.
I think,
Is he guilty?
Yes, I
You're
am
guil-
still
You're
guilty.
still guilty.
and Darkstar still has 2 actually.
Yeah.
He has guilty and insecure.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Then you have 2, so I will try to cleanse one of his conditions.
Yeah. So go ahead and clear whichever condition you prefer to clear.
Well, and those conditions don't just go away over time, do they? There's no
They
like
actually
long rest.
last
and...
until you deal with them.
Okay.
That won't matter much because we're reaching the end of the one shot.
Okay.
But if this was a campaign, it would last until you deal with it either through a move or by, you know, taking one of those actions.
So as these villains are approaching, I will step outside and realize that they're coming to attack us, kind of a thing, and they've located us. So I'm going to use my psychic powers to cause me to levitate. And as I go up in the air, these kind of tentacle, like wings are going to come from my back, and they're going to be translucent and dark, kind of like looking up at the night sky almost. That's how they look, very cosmic. And so these tentacles are going to spread out from my back like wings, and they're going to collide with my teammates and cover them in these kind of cosmic like barriers.
Does this frighten anyone?
I would say I'm more intrigued than
Yeah,
frightened.
it's a little unsettling, but I wouldn't say I'm frightened by it.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm up on the roof
Thought it
away
was
from
worth
the action
checking.
anyways.
Always worth checking.
One of these things are gonna whip out, and my character's just gonna pee himself. He's so
What the hell?
So
Giant hair.
at
I
the
have
start of a fight,
plans.
we have to do the team mechanics. So once, when you enter battle, add 2 team to the pool first. So we're up to 4 team in the pool right now. Then answer the following questions: Who do we think is the leader in this fight?
me. I was gonna say you.
Me?
Yeah.
You guys have to pick. Who do you think is essentially acting as the leader? It's kind of a toss-up because you took the first action, but she's kind of preparing for.
Yeah, there's
I
case there's
alerted
danger.
everybody.
there's a lot of potential candidates here, so
Yeah.
I was like, you guys left me out of the whole.
I'm gonna say I acted first, but only based off of the information that was provided to me from
Okay.
my team. So
Okay.
I'm gonna opt out.
I'll vote to say that Gabby can lead us because she probably has the most knowledge of what we're up against at the moment.
Okay, so we're calling Pandora the leader of this fight.
All right.
All right.
Does the leader have influence on every teammate? So you guys check your influence and see if she has influence on you.
She does not have influence on me,
Okay, that's all I need to know.
based off of this.
She doesn't have influence on me
Wait.
either.
Is it based on relationships or influence?
Influence.
Oh, no.
So that means you do not get that team,
You have influence, or she has influence on you.
Yeah.
but it needed to be everyone. It was all or nothing. Now, Pandora, please state concisely for me what your purpose is in the fight.
My purpose is to identify these intruders and try to stop them before they can cause damage.
Okay, does everyone agree that that is their purpose, to identify the intruders and stop them from creating damage?
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do get that team.
No.
Everything up.
Does anyone mistrust the leader currently?
Nope.
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 Don't think so.
Not yet.
And I will say because I will say one extra mechanical benefit of you
Give
getting
us
that really
our
good defense.
reason.
You are not caught off guard or unawares, so you also don't lose team for that. So now we're set up for the fight.
Nice.
Best team ever.
So I guess we shout out to Nyx on the rooftop. Yo!
So
I feel like we should still have some kind of walkie-talkies or something, you know?
a reminder to you
Like
guys
little
how
Secret
team
Service
works.
earpieces or something.
Nope.
We're not
Like
cool.
antennae.
We'll get them once we
teenagers.
really start working with the
Yeah,
agency.
we're not good yet.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like a ragtag team.
I don't. I'm gonna even just say that my character probably doesn't even have a cell phone. Antisocial. I live in a portal, basically.
Treehouse.
I seclude myself away from people.
To remind you guys how team works in a fight. Whenever you can spend one of your team, and you have 5 currently, to help someone with their role. You describe how you help, and they will get a +1 to their role unless you have any special modifiers. You can use team selfishly if you somehow abuse your teammates. Like, for example, you want to distract a target, so you pick up your friend and throw them at the target. You can use that to give yourself bonuses. Say how your actions, when you use team selfishly, say how your actions ignore or insult your teammates, remove one team from the pool, and you are able to shift your labels 1 up and 1 down of your choice. And you can do this after you've rolled. If you need like a +1 to something, you can act selfishly to shift your label up 1 to get that extra +1.
Okay.
So, the fight starts. These ethereal tentacles have erected up a guard around you. You see that there were 2 very fast people moving from different angles, and they are deflected off away from, not very fast as in super speed, but very fast as in like ninjas. They behave as ninjas essentially.
Poorly dressed ninjas because they're wearing red in the darkness.
Superhero ninjas, not.
Yeah, it's like the Foot Clan.
They deflect off at different angles, each kind of zeroing in on a separate target. The older man starts dashing up, dashing through the snow in a 1-horse open sled. He starts dashing off and then drawing a a blade that briefly glimmers in the the light of one of the lights around, but faster than you can see, dashes up towards Libby, who erected the defensive barrier.
Oh shit!
I would help,
Because
but I
she's
can't
floating
fly.
and he's.
You can jump.
Yeah, he can jump up. He's making essentially like a fast move past slice at her.
I can.
So
I
he's
could jump.
using his shift after wall running.
Remember that I do not actually ever roll anything. It's all up to you guys how you react to what I describe.
Okay, I'm gonna use a move here real quick.
All right.
In defense of the attack on Libby, I'm gonna use my move there when it matters. On a hit, I can hold one instead of choosing one from the list. Spend your hold, and they are in danger later to arrive at the scene ready to help.
All right. So go ahead and roll. That is plus savior for defense usually, unless you have something that makes it different. I think your bull move might make it different. I'm not certain.
7 plus 0, so 7 it is.
All right. So you do indeed successfully defend. Go ahead and describe.
So seeing the guy dash up to make a slice at Libby, I'm gonna like essentially vault myself from the ground up to him, just high enough to catch him by the ankle, and then with the momentum, I'm gonna throw him back down towards the ground,
Okay.
and then land next to him.
So you get to choose if you want to add a team to the pool, clear a condition, probably from her since you defended her, or take influence over someone you protect.
I have no conditions.
There's no conditions. What do you guys think? Should I take some influence or add one to the pool?
What's the benefit of granting influence?
Well, there's a couple different things about influence. With influence, as you've seen on team roles, it's important that the leader have influence over everyone. It also means that you usually get like a +1 to moves, and I should have been keeping track of this, but I'm new to this game, so I'm sorry, the listener.
Us too.
I'm not.
You guys get a +1 on actions towards people who you have influence over, so you're more likely to either come for a support or even pierce the mask or provoke them. And also, since if he already has influence over you, what he can use that to do is gaining influence again allows him to shift one of your labels up and one of your labels down. Because his influence is like such to the point where he's helping define your opinion of yourself.
Okay.
So that would be what he could do with that, or he could just add a team to the pool, which is simpler, but maybe not as interesting.
I don't know if you already have influence on me. I know you're marked as one of my influential figures.
So yeah, he has influence on you because you have it marked. So he could take it again, and he'd be able to shift one of your labels, if that's what he wanted it to do.
That might be decent for me because my superior is marked down to a -2.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that then.
All right, so he saves you, and he's influence. He's gotten some kind of influence over you. So Scott, what influence do you want to move up on Libby, and what influence do you want? You have to move. Not influence. What
I see your
do you want to move up, and what you have to move one down to move one up?
Don't touch my freak. I need my freak. I gotta keep my freak on.
Gotta get my go.
I'll raise your superior to -1, and I'll lower your danger to +1.
Sounds good to me.
It's my choice, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, in doing this, I'm gonna feel free to change this if you want, either of you. But the way I'm seeing this is kind of you've been seeing how Libby has been real hard on herself all day ever since that thing. She's been very negative.
Mm-hmm.
So you block her and block the attack and kind of give her the good job defending us back there, just to kind of boost her spirits a little bit. That's kind of what I'm seeing, something like that happening.
You got us, so I got you too.
I like that. You got me. I got you.
The teenage girl in the red has also veered off to a different path, and she actually quickly climbs up the side of the building and is coming up into melee range with Nyx. She has also drawn 2 swords, actually.
Oh God.
Oh boy. Just
swords,
compensating for something.
2
sandwiches.
Red hair, red suit.
So she is. So she is kind of swinging at you. It's kind of deliberate and kind of slow. So you're able to get out of the way, but she's kind of like trying to maneuver where you're going. She's trying to like push you, away from the rest of the team. How does someone react? And you don't have to react to that situation specifically if someone wants to make an attack or something. You can react yourself.
Well, and I'm assuming this is the girl from the sandwich shop,
It's
or do I need to roll to assess the situation to see if in the dark that I can?
It's the girl from the sandwich shop. I mean, I don't know if your character recognizes it immediately, but we know from story conventions that it is, so I'm good
Yeah.
enough with just saying that, obviously.
Okay. This is a short one shot. There's no wasted fluff NPCs, I guess.
I mean, there's kind of some wasted fluff, but that's because I'm going to do a to be continued ending.
Rude.
Well, I guess in recognition of her, yes, it'll be. Well, how'd you like your sandwiches?
Oh, God, that has to be something.
Provoke.
It could be. I'll give you a choice, or you could say neither if you don't feel like either is appropriate. You could be provoking her in order to try and get her to halt or pause, or you could be trying to pierce the mask to get a read on who she is and what she's thinking. I'll give you either of those. I think works in this situation.
I think I'll go for pierce the mask.
Okay. So go ahead and roll plus mundane.
7.
Yeah.
Nice.
That succeeds, but with penalty.
Well, it's not penalties. It's you only get to ask one question instead of 3. What are you really planning? You can ask her, essentially, out of character, and I will say out of character. What are you really planning? What do you want to do? What do you want me to do, rather? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? Or how could I gain influence over you?
Clearly, we have to go back to the how can I get your character to fuck? Or have sex if we're gonna go with the more PC version.
I don't know if there's a PC version for. I think you'd have to mark it for underage sex no matter what. So.
Illegal.
I guess since I did what do you intend to do last time, I think I will do the.
sub.
What are you really planning? I'm just kind of wondering why they are here beyond. They're here because of Sparrow.
She is, unfortunately, kind of got the wrong one for figuring out the exact plan. She is, you can tell, partially because you read her mind earlier, and partially just because of the way she holds herself, the way she's not really going for lethal strikes on you or anything. She's here kind of because she has to be. She's obviously she's the daughter of the Red Dragon, and right now she doesn't know what she intends to do. She's kind of here because it's expected, but she's not really here because she wants to be.
Okay.
Which I think is useful information, even though it doesn't give you a direct answer.
Yeah. At any rate, it means that I could somewhat avoid a fight and turn it into a talk.
Possible, yeah.
Instead.
But since you took the time to pierce the mask and you didn't have her stop or anything, or didn't defend yourself, I'm going to make you roll to take a powerful blow. So, please roll 2d6 plus the number of conditions you currently have marked.
Okay, so the piercing the mask didn't slow her down at all?
No, that was you coming to understand her motivations. It did not prevent her
Okay.
from attacking further.
Naturally, that's just a little bit higher than what I've been rolling. So that's a 9.
On a 7 to 9, choose 1. You lash out verbally, provoke a teammate into foolhardy act. This is 1, by the way. 1. You lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. 2. You give ground, your opponent gets an opportunity. Or 3. You struggle past the pain, mark 2 conditions.
Seeing how she's trying to push me somewhere anyways, I think I will give ground.
All right. So you are still able to keep avoiding her blows, but it's getting harder and faster. She's kind of letting some anger kind of take control of her. You get near the edge of the building, and at first you think she's going to try and push you over the edge. Then suddenly, your vision kind of blurs as you try to react to everything changing at once. She shapeshifts into a dragon, grabs you, and starts flying off. And it is an Oriental style dragon.
Uh-oh.
I immediately jump up and fly after once I see this dragon appear.
All right, what are you doing? Go ahead and keep describing.
Okay.
What were you? You can quickly interrupt. What were you going to say, Darkstar?
Oh, I have just a couple of questions about this character sheet right here.
Sure.
So when I roll, it says plus conditions. Does that mean I subtract the conditions when I roll it, or I add the conditions? Because that would actually make more sense.
You add the conditions you have marked because it helps you, like...
Yeah, because the more conditions I have, the better chance I have of hitting an actual burn.
Yeah, because you're essentially, like, even more energy drained. It makes your burn bigger because you're kind of, like, getting closer to the edge.
Right, and do I just have naturally wine flare, or do I have to actually charge up, use up a turn to charge up, and then actually do it?
I mean, we don't have to do it specifically in a turn. I think it's fair for you to charge up and then, like, kind of immediately react, unleash something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to just quickly roll your burn right now, that's fine. And we can just, like, see how much you have for the, for until you burn again.
Right, okay. Then I will try and do that. In the meantime, yeah, you can do what you want. I know we can, like, kind of act separately. 'Cause
Yeah.
both of us are kind of reacting at the same time.
But yeah, so I jump up, I have them in my sights. At the same time, I have a mind blast ready once I get into vicinity to try and knock him out of her clutches.
Okay.
Because you can fly too, can't you? No, you can't. I'll try to
No,
catch
no,
you
no.
then.
I was gonna catch
Oh,
him.
you're gonna catch
I can
him?
catch him
Alright,
and
so
you
we can
can't.
work together then to try and...
So what did you get for your burn?
But I was hoping to soften the landing, but
Well,
no,
You don't.
being
I think you don't
partially
mark anything.
incorporeal.
You just get some charges.
Yeah,
You don't get
yeah, I
Says
just
hold
get,
3 or something.
yeah, hold
You would
So
three.
you
into
get
the
3
ground,
charges.
into the sewer.
And yeah, I got above a 10, so I don't have to mark any conditions.
Yep.
So yeah, I got a 12, so we're good. I
You
just have
can
three charges.
use 3 of those before you have to roll burn again if you want more of them.
Well, it says till end of scene. Does that mean like the entire thing, or
This
just
entire fight scene.
Okay, good. I will wait until Gabby does what she's gonna do,
Sure.
and then I'll react on that.
So unleash power.
No, you are directly engaging a threat.
Okay.
So you will be rolling plus danger.
Danger.
Unless you have something that makes it different. I don't know.
I don't
everyone's
think I do.
moves.
Oh, of course it's Snake Eyes when I have 0.
Ooh, boy. So you go up and ready a mind blast. You are flying in to go, to like try and make, way for that. When suddenly the, naturally serpentine movements of the dragon it flicks a tail at you, and you get smacked off to the side and end up launching towards a building. I'm going to have you roll to take a powerful blow.
Okay.
So, roll 2d6. Oh, and mark potential. Roll 2d6 plus your number of conditions marked, which I think is 0 currently.
Yeah. 4.
Okay, mark potential and you are fine.
So I don't do any damage to the building or anything.
You want to roll low on take a powerful blow, and you did.
Sweet.
You on a miss, you stand strong. Mark potential is normal, and say how you weather the blow. So,
Okay.
go ahead and give us some description on that.
So I start to fly into the building, and I see, the windows there. Everyone inside is kind of settled down for the evening. And so I kind of muster all of my strength, and right before I hit the building, I stop flat.
Good old mid-air recovery.
Yep.
All right, so
Um,
go ahead.
Man, I was sort of hoping for
There's
the
no,
comical, splat up against the window and then
Is there no
slide
turn
down.
order?
There's no turn order. It's act as you will, and I'll just interrupt whenever I need to. Essentially,
Okay. Well, I have 3 birds to charge. I'm gonna keep track of those.
sounds good.
And I'm going to use my ability Snatch. It says spend 1 burn to use your powers to seize any one object up to a size of a person from someone within view.
And it doesn't say roll anything, so that just happens.
Yeah, and so I guess I'll just burn that. I'll be down to 2, and I get Ryan back.
I'm just thinking of the SpongeBob episode. Oh no, it only works on toys.
Oh, it's just to grab the amulet. Yes! So I will snatch Nyx from the claws with using the gravity, so I'll kind of like pull him out.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I guess I will give you thanks if I'm within, earshot.
You'll be like, thank you, and then you accidentally like land in a trash can or something. Like, I saved you! Mostly. Still saved you. Counts for something.
Cutting back to the other villain, you managed to block him from hitting your friend and you toss him away. In a blink of an eye, he has disappeared. You start looking around for him, and you guys can roll the assess the situation if you want to try and spot him.
Okay.
So that's plus superior.
All right.
Are like John and I close enough to see all that? Or
I figure you're kind of distracted by your fight.
yeah, okay. That's
That's a 9.
kind of where I was at too.
All right. So you will see him, but it will be, you see him coming. He is kind of blending into the shadows surprisingly well given what he's wearing. He actually manages, however, like you see him only in time to see him land behind Libidine, blade up against throat. And to which he says, "Stand down if you wish to stand down if you wish to escape this encounter alive."
Can I?
Now, can't you just shapeshift out of the way?
Can I react?
Sure.
It's power. Unleash power.
If you're trying to escape from his grab and that's all, that would be unleash power. If you want to do damage to him, that's directly engage a threat,
Which uses danger.
which uses danger. Again, unless you have a modifier, I don't know everyone's moves.
I think I'm just gonna try and directly attack him.
Okay.
So I got an 8 total.
Okay. So that will mark one of his conditions. And choose one. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies. Or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. So if you don't choose resist or avoid their blows, you will also mark a condition.
Okay.
The other ones will give you certain either mechanical or narrative advantages.
I think I'm actually going to attempt to frighten him.
Okay.
So I will mark a condition.
Yeah, he seems kind of obsessed with going after you for some reason.
Yeah.
Attacked you twice.
So I feel like just running away isn't going to be enough. So I have him close. I specialize kind of in vitality absorption. So I'm going to ignite my hand kind of with that cosmic looking energy again. And I'm just going to jab it straight into his heart. My hand obviously will stop on his flesh, but the energy will protrude into him and it'll actually burst out of his back, emitting those same kind of tentacles that came out of me. And they're going to feed into his face, into his eyes and his nose and his ears and his mouth. And it's just going to start draining his life energy.
What condition do you think you would mark based off of that? What are you feeling? I think several are appropriate. I think insecure could be appropriate. I think angry could be appropriate. I even think guilty could be appropriate. I don't know if I think it's one of the less likely ones you would go with, but
I think perhaps insecure or
I mean afraid. I could also see an argument for afraid.
yeah, I was thinking afraid might be decent as well.
So I'll go ahead and let you pick which one you think is most fitting.
I think honestly it's a pretty bad thing, I think, but I think afraid is the most fitting because not only am I afraid that he's going to kill me because he has a friggin' razor-edged, sword up to my throat, but I'm also afraid of killing him at this point.
Do it.
So I'm gonna mark afraid.
Do it. Do it must be done.
Scott, your character would have seen Lividine stab him in the heart with her powers.
Okay.
I'm going to keep asking just since it is for one of his mechanics. Is that something that would frighten your character?
Yeah, chalk me down for afraid.
Please mark your doom track.
I will mark my first doom track.
The other stuff I could handle, but that
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna be like, no, yeah, that's fine.
Part of the reason for that is because I am afraid at this point. Like, he threatened me. He's up in my face again. I'm afraid that he's going to kill me. And in tandem, I'm afraid now that I'm going to kill him.
Okay.
He frightened you. You frightened him. He panics, hits you quickly in the stomach with just like the blunt of the hilt, and then throws smoke bomb, is gone from sight again. We cut back to the other half of the fight. There is a Oriental style dragon that has just lost hold of Nyx. She turns around and tries to return like to the roof, like to get a central position, and is kind of flailing about at all three of you, just trying to like keep a safe position with all when she's kind of surrounded currently.
Wait, are we all on the roof?
You don't have to be on the roof, but that's kind of around where you were because she was starting to take off with you from there.
Wait, so is she on the roof?
She is on the roof.
But then we're not necessarily on the roof.
You don't have to be.
But then how is she flailing around and attacking us?
She's not actually attacking you. It's kind of a like stay back.
Defensive.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like to be on the roof again if that's... I mean, because she took
You'll
off.
have to let him know that since he's the one psychicing you right now.
Yeah, I was going to
Or
say...
gravitying you.
Well, you could just let me know and put you down.
Yeah, because then I don't know where you are
Well,
either.
I'm on the ground right now. Sort of like, I guess the situation, he kind of engaged Livia, then we kind of engaged her as you were on the roof.
Yeah.
So I guess we kind of like split off because also.
And you guys can switch between halves of this fight. That's fine. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
focusing on different villains.
So it's wherever you put me. I don't know where you put me.
Well,
so
do you have
whatever makes the
While
most
you're-
sense for you.
while you're like, let's say this, while I yank you from the chains and you're kind of like floating there, do you say anything? Because I'm just gonna put you right down, like next to me on the floor, unless you
Yeah,
say
okay.
something.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, basically, it's just going to be, hey, put me down. You know.
Right, but do you have like any requests? Do you say like, hey, put me on the roof, or do I just let me do what I do?
No, I think I'm going to just let you put me on the ground. It'll just be...
Okay.
I can't fly. This does not feel good. Please lower me.
Affirmative, and I'll put you right down.
That sandwich is coming back up.
And then I guess as I set him down, I will set up for a reality storm to engage this new threat.
All right.
So to engage enemy, I burn 1, and I can roll using freak instead of danger.
Yep.
So,
Is that the one that either allows you or makes you do collateral damage?
yeah, that's a collateral damage one.
Okay.
So I will decide. I'm not sure where she is. She's in like a building district, isn't she?
You're in the same neighborhood that you guys were in.
Right.
She has landed on the roof of basically the gym. Or
Okay.
of the fight club.
Then I will burn.
Fight Club.
I will burn another one just to make sure that I am in full control. So I am 0 burns left.
My burns.
6, 7, 9.
All right, and you get an extra one, right? Because you used your burn.
No, it's just spending 1 burn allows me just to negate collateral
Oh,
damage. And That's
okay.
all it does. It's just to make sure I don't blow up the building.
So you don't get the extra one.
Nope. Just
Pick
9.
1, resist and avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I'm going to say it's going to create an opportunity for Gabby, because what I'm going to do is basically create a gravity, I'm going to increase the gravity around her so it basically pins her down to the ground. So,
All right. This is a lot more size and shape than you're used to dealing with at this early stage in your superheroing career. So it's kind of taking a lot of energy out of you, and that's why it's going to also do a condition to you since you didn't resist or avoid their blows.
Okay.
So mark whichever condition you have left that you think is appropriate.
I'm guessing I'm feeling insecure because I'm trying to keep from doing collateral damage, and I'm trying to keep it in as control as possible.
Sure.
So I'm insecure whether or not I can do that.
So the dragon is trying to lash out against your powers, but your gravity is too strong. It's holding her, it's pinning her down. So she eventually resorts to the only way she has of getting out of this and crashes down through the roof of the gym.
Uh-oh.
Joe's not gonna be happy.
I was trying to avoid that.
From the street, I'll kind of see her crash through the ceiling in the gym and like see the destruction and just kind of like throw up my hands and slap him down and be like, Joe's really not going to be happy with that.
From the shadows, you hear the voice of the same of Red Dragon shouting out, "Dragoness, control yourself. Maintain focus." And suddenly the dragon starts to kind of like she's not reverting back, but she's moving less erratically. She's still kind of held down, so she's kind of right now you're kind of holding her in place, and it's not as much of a struggle right now.
And that opportunity was for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This running one, I meant it for you because it was more like he's settling her down, pinning her down, and then you're like for a follow-up.
Yeah. So after all us running into the building, I'm still watching them, and I see this dragon fall through the gym roof, and so I immediately dash in after, seeing that I now have an opportunity to use whatever's inside. So I go inside, see her slightly less now, but thrashing around. I take some of the nearby weights and I chuck them at her.
All right. So roll to directly engage. That's plus danger.
Eight.
All right. So you're going to choose one from that same list that I've given a couple times now. You're going to do one condition to her. You can choose to resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Let's choose surprise the opposition.
All right. So that will do that. You're hurling lots of weight at the dragon. You're hitting over and over again with just this kind of unrelenting force. You're keep hitting and hitting, and you're realizing that as she's losing strength, she starts to revert back to a person, and then before you stop using the force, you suddenly hit her very hard right in the just middle body with one of the large weights. So she kind of crumples to the ground and isn't really looking like she's getting up. So go ahead and mark a condition.
Okay.
Mine was kind of pointing towards guilty, but whatever
Yeah,
you think is
guilty was
appropriate.
definitely what I was thinking.
Wait, as in she has reverted from dragon form? Or
Yeah, and then I hit
Yeah.
her with the weight when she reverted back.
Oh. After she's already
I
healed it, okay.
immediately rush over and see if she's okay.
All right,
But of course, other people can do things in the meantime.
sure.
Did she throw up the sandwich?
You guys heard where Red Dragon shouted this order from that seemed like she was listening to. You look to where he is, and he is leaping down towards the ground from where he was. He has blade drawn and is rushing towards, kind of both towards Dragoness, but also towards Pandora. Blade drawn, furious look in his eyes.
Okay, I'm going to roll right now to see if I can get some burns.
Sounds good.
That,
Start charging up.
yeah. 10.
Okay, so you got your free without any conditions.
Yep. And
I want to be the damsel in distress.
I guess, seeing upon this action, I will immediately, since I got my
I
burns,
can't do anything else.
I will immediately,
I'm the damsel in distress.
for shielding, should I roll that before or after the attack?
Yes.
Because I want to shield her, but I don't know.
Unfortunately, I think you had to take a little time to charge up, so I don't think had the burn at the time.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm not sure how the burn works. Or
It's
how
supposed to
rolling.
represent you kind of Dragon Ball Z-ing,
Oh, okay.
because it's you getting up to like your maximum power, and that's why your powers get better after you have burn.
Alright. So I guess upon doing that and like pinning her down, I'm gonna start charging, but I'm gonna notice that he's running towards Pandora, and so I'm just gonna shout out, like, next we have a hostile heading towards Pandora.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to run into the gym and join the fray somehow.
Somehow I do it.
Because I don't really know what the Daddy Dragon's plan is. So
Well, all we know right now is he's heading towards Pandora, and
He angry. He mad.
considering she just threw a
He's
weight
a
into her
mad
chest,
Daddy.
pretty sure she's got a crazed look in his eye.
yeah, meaning he's probably not too susceptible for conversation at this point either. So
Probably not, but you know, you could always
No,
try.
you could try.
No
Yeah.
one's gonna stop you. I
Mm.
might. I'm not going to. So I don't know what you're gonna do.
I guess I was gonna say I might just run in between him and Pandora.
No! Just like the famous body shield.
Yeah, I think I might just get in the way and like I guess tell him to stop.
Well, can your character do anything? Like for ability wise?
The two things I have are emotion control and power negation.
You could try and control his emotions so he's
Yeah, see, and that's the thing is I'm like I think he might also be a little too far gone in terms of like yeah. I'm assuming daughter just got
It's up
pretty
to you.
wrecked.
Yeah, you could
It's your
always
call.
Why?
you could always try. Maybe you can make his emotions so that he's more worried.
Don't min max this. Just
Roleplay it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just let
okay,
it
well
flow.
I'm just gonna stand in front of him and tell him to, you know, like hey, let's stop and talk this out, I guess. But
Are you trying to emotion manipulate, or are you just trying to talk it out?
I do want to roll the power of
Okay,
either.
then unleash power. Plus
Like I
freak.
said, I was kind of wanting to do power negation as in like getting close enough to them to negate their powers. The idea was kind of like yeah, using the emotion control
Yeah.
to calm them enough
Roll
to
unleash
be
your
able
powers.
to grab them and then negate their powers.
Plus freak.
It still ain't great. And I got nothing for freak, so that's a 5.
Mark potential. You try and jump in the way and stop him. You try to calm him down, but he is pure fury right now because he's been scared. He's been frightened rather. He's been hit a couple times in this fight, and all of a sudden his daughter has taken pretty massive wounds. He quickly moves in, striking you kind of like the shoulder with a strike point to like a pressure point would be. So it just like is like very painful, but he doesn't hit you with the sword. He then also like raises his sword to strike at Pandora, who he is furious with.
Okay, at that point, I'm gonna roll to unleash my power and come and use one of my token moves.
Wait, and do I add a condition? Or-
Yeah, let's have you roll to take powerful blow. So 2d6 plus the number of conditions you currently have marked.
That is a
Wow.
8.
Never mind.
I touched it. It's interference.
So you will pick one of the 7 to 9 options here. I think I heard a 6, but I'm not certain.
No, you shouldn't be certain because it was Snake Eyes. So
Okay, so
mark potential.
mark potential.
What do we do with teamwork, by the way?
Teamwork is when if someone is like close to passing a roll, you can describe how you help them, take one team from the pool, and give them 1 point.
Okay. Gotcha.
Again, I think I'll just give ground, so we'll get an opportunity.
Then can I...
Which makes sense for him getting the chance to swing at her.
Yeah.
Alright, so Scott failed. I was going to try rolling as well to
Go
attack him. So... Slippery booger. Scott, can you possibly help me out with that? Because I am at 6, so all I need is 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyone who wants to can describe how they help to give that team bonus.
So you could like create an opportunity with your last attack or something like that.
Okay. So since I tried to use one of my moves, it's essentially just me charging into the gym, shoulder lowered to try to hit him away from doing damage to Pandora. I'm gonna miss badly, but since I have the momentum and I was running so fast, it's gonna throw him off slightly, and you'll notice that as like a window for you to attack, because I essentially distracted him briefly just by bull in a china shopping.
Perfect.
There you go.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of run in, like sort of like side by side with Scott. So it's going to be like a team attack where he misses, and then I'm going to charge up I'm going to back my fist up with a punch, with a gravity behind it. I'm going to spend 2, so I only have 1 burn left to make sure there's no collateral damage.
All right.
And so while I'm doing that, I'm going to remember Scott, and I'm going to be like, drop the shoulders, and I'm just going to like.
That's good. I like that.
I'll be like, okay, drop the shoulders, bah! And like hit him. And then
Nice.
I don't know how much damage it does, or if I need to take condition.
Did you roll an attack?
Yeah, it was 7 exactly.
7 attack. That's right. That's why we did the team.
Yep.
So that again gives you that choice of the resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I'm gonna say, since I have 2 already, that I think I'm just gonna say that
Avoid blows.
Yeah, any counterattack he has, I'm gonna.
Okay, so you don't have to mark a condition.
So I'm not sure what he does after that.
So you hit him, it launches him a ways back. He catches and lands on his feet. At this point, Dragoness has started to regain some of her consciousness.
Oh.
She,
Spoilers. You said dog.
I mean, it's kind of
I
obvious.
know. I'm just saying.
She actually says, shouts to him, "It's not worth it. We're getting our asses handed to us out here. We should just get out of here." He then responds, "No, we were paid for a job. We're going to do it." He then flashes his blade out again and makes another madcap dash, kind of desperately, this time at Darkstar, who just attacked him.
So she is okay then, because I was like kneeling down next to her to make sure I didn't do any serious damage.
You didn't do any, she's up. We don't know for sure medically how she is,
Okay.
but she's not dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll again to unleash powers to try to do there when it matters again and defend John.
Oh.
That was a better roll. I'll go ahead and roll with my danger instead of savior, because that will put me at an 8 instead of a 6.
Okay.
Awesome. I was like, we can burn a team point. I think we have another one, but we don't need to.
Yeah, with that defender perk.
So you got an 8, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you can add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or have John clear a condition. But since it was only an 8, it costs you. You either expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
Is it my choice on the last 2?
I'll give it to you.
What do you think, John?
Kind of up to you. I already have.
I think giving John the clear condition wouldn't be a bad choice because he's a little beat up at this point.
All right. Do you want to?
I kind of like balance off those conditions though, because actually having conditions both buffs me and like hurts me obviously.
Okay. Why don't you clear a condition that is getting in the way right now? Whichever one.
If either of them is hitting up combat abilities, it might be good.
So I guess I'll get rid of guilty.
And then
Inspired by you.
and then for that last one, Eric, I'll choose to with that defense, I'll expose myself to danger.
All right. Red Dragon is a trained assassin, and he's finally starting to adapt to your guys' fighting style. He knows he's outnumbered and is getting kind of bull rushed every time he does something. So this time, expecting it,
Bull rush.
he rotates into a way where he takes a swing at you with the sword. You're pretty tough. You're designed to break walls and stuff, so you don't actually get cut. But the pressure manages to hit you in just such a place where suddenly you kind of crumple because you have been hit in such a way that you really are losing some control over movement of your body.
Ouch.
He's gotten you in like a pressure point, and you're just kind of like stuck kneeling on the ground right now.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, could I use the shielding to protect him from that blow, or
Was it a little too late?
I guess it kind of goes as a story. It's just like I just don't know how to interrupt with that because it says when you call it the fast protective field to stop a danger.
How about you go ahead and use the burn? You won't be able to stop him from getting that crumple, but you'll be able to protect him from he's like going to logically do a follow-up attack off of that because he's stunned one of you.
And I'm vulnerable. So.
Okay.
So you can stop him from getting hit while he's vulnerable.
Okay, gotcha.
And that uses up your burn, so I think that's fair to essentially allow me to not take a powerful blow against Scott.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. It says I need to roll.
Oh, go ahead and roll. I didn't realize that it was It's
I didn't think it
defend
was
with
either.
plus freak instead of plus savior.
Yeah.
So we'll see if you defend him well enough.
Yeah. We'll see.
Ooh, I see a 1.
Yep. That is a 5.
What's your modifier?
Freak.
Plus 2 gets it to 7.
Yep. Exactly 7.
Nice.
Okay, so again, you can add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition. And but you also have to choose to expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
Oh, I can just do this forever, Scott.
Yeah.
Just help each other.
We can escalate danger.
I guess I'm going to do the same thing where, let's see, you don't have a lot of conditions, do you?
I have no conditions.
Okay.
Oh, I have one. Sorry,
One?
I'm afraid.
I only have one condition.
What was the things again?
You can, on the positive side, you can choose to add a team to the pool, take influence over Scott's character, or clear a condition. And you have to choose either to expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
I will. Well, for one, I'll definitely expose myself to danger because I don't want to escalate the situation anymore. And Scott, would you benefit from influence at all?
Well, and I'm thinking for my next move is to just tackle him.
Honestly,
So
honestly, what would be the most beneficial right now is if you cleared my afraid condition because it's hindering my engage a target directly.
Let's do that.
Okay.
So you see the shield, you know your allies got your back.
Yeah, I ain't scared no more.
No more skirt.
So we haven't heard from Nyx or Libidine in a while, so I think we need to hear from them.
yeah, like I said, I think I want to tackle him, seeing how he, I guess, is got somewhat of an opportunity.
Sure.
So, and I am assuming I'm behind him.
That's up to you narratively.
I kind of want to be like, cause he ran past me to get at them.
Sure.
So yeah, I just want to kind of turn around, tackle him, use a power to negate his ninja-ness, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So how does your negation work against someone that isn't powered? Like, cause he's a ninja, so I'm just kind of like, I'm just kind of curious narratively. How does that work?
Oh, for power negation?
Yeah.
It's also kind of just calming him.
Oh, that makes
In
sense. 'Cause it's an emotion. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
He has emotional power control.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
But
Soothing.
I was gonna say, because I guess he is just sort of a guy with a sword. We don't know if he's got any like other crazy powers. But yeah, I
Yeah.
did kind of want it to be,
Yeah.
the crazy
But go
powers
ahead.
can be
Go for
absorbed.
the tackle. I believe that's to directly engage a threat.
Yeah, so plus freak.
It would directly engage would be plus danger.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wham.
There we go.
Damn.
Boy. Good roll.
That's a 13.
Whoa.
Okay, so go ahead and pick 2 Resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Take his rage from him.
You can. That is it. That allows in the
Really?
rules. The rules allow for both literally like I take their weapon or stuff like I take the high ground. Like it's very open.
I have the high ground.
Well, it's true. You just take something from them.
I think I will be sort of generic and take the sword from
Okay.
him. And then whatever the second.
So you chose to take something. You've got
I didn't realize Obi-Wan was such an old man.
resist or avoid their blows, which would prevent you from taking a condition. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I guess the obvious one would be opening up an opportunity for allies because I've tackled him
Okay.
and disarmed him.
So you tackle him. You disarm him. He is bigger than you and is very strong and well trained. So you tackle him to the ground and are trying to start to calm him. But before you can fully calm him, he's throwing back like these kind of the elbow jabs at you while you're on top of him. So you're taking hits from that. Please mark a condition relative to whatever you feel is appropriate to the situation.
Yeah.
And he just marked hopeless, so I have to see what his hopeless reaction is.
I guess I'll just go with afraid. There's enough crazy things going on.
He is down pretty hard. He begins like he's trying to fight you off of him. There's a panel of him like fighting angrily, then a panel of him coming to a sudden recognition and realization. He shouts out as he's fighting with you, Dragoness, it's time for you to go. Get out of here while they're fighting me.
Nope.
No.
I would like to unleash a power.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, are you getting rid of some kind of obstacle, or are you attacking someone?
Depends.
Attacking someone will be directly engaged.
I would like to use my body transmutation on myself, and I suppose it would be to engage the girl.
Okay. If you're trying to inflict damage, then that's directly engaged, yeah.
Okay, I'm not necessarily trying to inflict damage, but I am trying to stop her from leaving.
It might be provoke then if you're trying to convince her to do something, essentially.
No. I'm just going to say that
Tell me what you
I
did. Just describe it, I'll pick the roll.
So I am going to use body transmutation to essentially try and turn myself into a dragon. Kind of like she already was. And then I'm going to fly at her and try and kind of capture her in a sense.
That's going to be directly engaged.
Okay.
Oh. What's a
That'll be
6?
7.
Okay. Pick one. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I am going to take away her movement.
Okay. That will be her last mark, so she is out of this fight.
Wow, nice.
So, yes, I'm going to use my cosmic-looking powers to turn myself into a cosmic-looking dragon. And I'm going to fly directly at her and kind of entangle her in the kind of slithery, snake-like form that I've taken, and essentially just trap her and leave her from... prevent her from escaping. Do I have to take any?
Yes, you didn't choose to avoid or resist blows, so you will also have to mark a condition.
I suppose insecure.
All right. That leaves us with just Red Dragon. He is going to cry out in anger while his daughter is pinned. He is then going to respond by shouting out. He hasn't quite managed to get out of the tackle yet. Fine, if you must take me, but let her go! Let her go!
No.
No. I'm good. I guess I'll try and use this opportunity to charge up another burn. And you can do whatever you want because I'm charging, so I...
Yeah. I was going to say, because we already pretty much have him down,
Mhm.
don't we?
Yes. He technically could take one more hit, but he's not in a very good condition.
Mm-hmm.
He's essentially offering a deal, but doing it in a giving an order style fashion.
Yeah.
As any hard, bad criminal would.
Just as a heads up, I got an 8 on the roll, which means I have
Marked an additional condition.
2. I get 3 burns, but 1 condition. So
Okay.
just as a heads up. And does someone do something while I'm charging up? Because I will finish it.
I guess I kind of want to just keep the tackle that I have going. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to keep holding him.
Yeah,
I don't know if I need to roll.
That's fine
to-
narratively.
Full Nelson.
My ship, because I go over toward where the counter is, where I had my pad set down, and I take it, and I enter in a code, and my ship starts coming in through the hole in the roof,
All right.
and it swings open. I pull out, like with my telekinesis, a couple pairs of handcuffs, because I was a security
Yeah, I
guard
know.
before this. Yeah, I'm like, there's no need for any more violence.
You're under arrest.
Out of character narratively, do you think it's might be a good time to speed dial the agents of
Aegis.
Aegis? Gabby.
Let's take care of the rest of it first.
Okay.
I'm going to have you roll provoke someone to try and get him to surrender without fighting anymore.
Okay.
So plus superior.
Okay. And then I have a I have a -2 to it because I'm guilty. 9.
Okay. Instead, he can choose one of the following. So give me a second.
You got a 9 even with a -2?
Mhm.
Dang.
She's very superior.
Yeah.
She believes in the power of her.
I think I'll just speed this up and have it be they err, you get a critical opportunity. He continues to refuse and to struggle, but ends up getting into a position where you can just get the cuffs on him without him agreeing or not.
Yeah.
So he's angry and he's still kind of fighting, but he is in cuffs, and essentially you guys have him more or less.
Okay, good. What do we do with her?
Hand her over to the cops.
Put her in cuffs too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. They're together.
Yeah,
Obviously
I
they're
think
trying.
I think we
so
should.
I would say it. Like, Pandora, how many cuffs do you have in there?
Just a couple.
Get 1 more.
Why?
For the girl.
She already pulled out 2, right?
I thought you only
Oh
had
no,
one.
I pulled out 2.
Oh, you did? Okay, never mind then.
Okay. I was like, who,
All I heard
who
was
are we cuffing now? Is this
Yeah.
gonna start to get real weird here?
we accidentally cuff you to him. So now you're like tackled to cuff him.
He can just phase through it.
Oh.
So what do you guys do with now that you have them both? Do you call in Aegis? What's the
Do we want to try to interrogate them a little bit?
I was gonna
before
say I
we
want to
call
read
them
his
in?
mind with my mind ready thing.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
That no one else knows you can do.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
go ahead and pierce the mask? Roll plus mundane.
that is a 8.
You may ask one of the following questions. What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? Or how could I gain influence over you?
I think I'll just go with the what are you planning? See if he's thinking about the.
You pull out this artifact and put it on your skin. I'm definitely going to say that it is noticed by our alien this time, Pandora.
Mm-hmm.
You start reading his mind. You see that he is working for the Syndicate. There is a new Sparrow starting up the group, and Sparrow has plans to level the playing field between non-powered people and powered people.
It's a mon. A mon.
With technology.
With technology.
Yep.
Yeah, what will be.
So you get that information. Pandora sees that you're using some of the alien technology from the place, museum.
Mm-hmm.
I squint my eyes, but I don't do anything just yet.
All right. Do you reveal any of your information you just got?
Did I notice her noticing?
Go ahead and roll assess the situation. Plus superior.
Because I did mean to kind of be discreet with that amulet as well. So
How about letting that drama go away?
No.
that is a 10.
Oh, she saw you. You know she saw you.
Okay.
Busted.
Well, I think 3 different people know I have this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I might as well just say, you know,
We just don't know what it does.
yeah. So I was like, I want to say the information, but I don't want to give away what the amulet does as well. So
That's up to you to figure out, mate.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would I, because it's alien technology, would I kind of know what the amulet does?
You probably could kind of figure it out, but the rest of the party doesn't know.
I guess I don't know if everybody knows the extent of my powers, so I could say that while I was tackling him, I was able to learn that the sparrow is a new sparrow. It's not the old one. Working for the syndicate.
Okay.
You leave out that they're planning to level the playing field.
Well, no, I meant the whole thing.
Okay.
The leveling the playing field as well. I'll just say, yeah, while I was tackling him, while I had him in my grasp, I learned that the sparrows knew and that they're planning on leveling the playing field between supers and non-supers.
How the heck did you learn that?
Dagnabbit. Gotta ask the hard questions. That's for me to know and you to find out.
Well, I want to find out right now.
Was that the K2SO where it's like, I find that answer vague and unconvincing?
Yeah.
I'll kind of glide in from the outside after having the person secured.
Sure.
Say, I don't recall him saying anything about that either.
Okay, well, I guess I will just reveal the amulet at this point. This is not working out for me,
Yeah.
so I will reveal the amulet and what it does, and the fact that I have not been reading of any of your guys' minds. It's
But I haven't been reading your minds.
That sounds like
As of
something
this
someone would
episode-
say if they were reading my mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't believe you.
I'm not. Do I have to roll to convince them that I haven't, or I?
No, we can be on board with it. It just
I'm not. I'll just put that out right now. I'm giving you a look, and when we're finally alone, I say, you should not be in possession of that amulet.
Defend yourself. Say that it helped you.
I mean, it did help
Yeah,
me. But...
be the delinquent, Ryan. Save finders keepers.
That is true.
My treasure
and,
now.
Libby told you to throw it or stow it, and you stowed it.
Yeah. What's the danger to this device?
If it fell into the wrong hands, who knows what it could do?
Well, I mean, it could read minds.
Fine, let me rephrase that. If it fell into the wrong hands, who know what damage could be done with it?
Well, it won't fall into the wrong hands.
How can I trust you?
Do either of you have influence over each other?
Yes.
Everyone has influence over me.
She has influence.
You both have influence over each other. If either of you wants to abuse that influence to try and force their hand and give up that influence, you can.
Abuse that power. Abuse. What happens if they both abuse it?
Then they're probably going to be very angry at each other
Yeah.
in coming episodes that aren't really going to be coming necessarily, but it'd be a dramatic conclusion.
Yeah.
Just pan over to them like with the device in the both hands, like, give it! No! Give it! Children, please. We'll share it. Cut it in half.
Well, it's not really a matter of me wanting to use it. It's just a matter of me not wanting any human to have it.
Right.
Speciesist.
Oh, they-
So how does this scene conclude, guys? We need to know. Prying minds need to know.
Why can't you just read your mind?
Well, I have proposed the question.
I mean,
Will you marry me?
Wow, this took a weird turn.
she was engaging the threat.
Propose the question.
Not knowing that you have Pandora has a way to contact Aegis, I'm gonna ask Darkstar, like, Darkstar, is there a way you can call Astro Man? We gotta lock these people up.
Oh man, I don't know if my character could actually do that, like to call him, because he's.
You can say no. I just don't know of a way to get a hold of them. I don't know that she has them on speed dial.
The authorities were probably on their way because a building broke.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Public museum.
As
I guess since you.
go ahead.
I just said, since you asked, I will say, it is most regrettable that I cannot contact him. Unfortunately, I can access his webpage and his email, but that's about it. He never checks those.
Oh, God.
It's his fan email.
Oh, you can
Okay.
email him. Not that you have
So-
access to his email.
Yeah, it's one
Okay.
of those fan like emails where it's like,
Like, dear Astro Man, I
yeah,
love you.
it's like the fan website. He never
Your
answers
biggest
those.
fan.
So
Oh,
you
shit.
got his
For
autograph,
Christmas, I want.
but you didn't get his number.
Do I really? No. I
I
can get his number.
Just put
That
a
was
light
my
in the
character
cloud.
asking your character.
Oh no. Okay. Just like regrettably, I was so starstruck at the moment. All I really wanted was his autograph. I still have it in my
As
pocket.
you two continue arguing, the authorities arrive. The police come, the ambulance, all that. From the Aegis vehicle, Miss Powers steps out again.
Ah, damn.
Ooh, we're busted. We skipped the training.
Now, I don't mind that you skipped the training. That was your choice. But you skipped the training to break more buildings.
Hey, to be fair, creepy dragon lady over there did that.
It was them.
And you were the ones who couldn't contain them.
She turned into a dragon, and I like emphasize like,
I wish Astro Man was here so that I could show him why he was wrong about you. We then cut to the final set of panels for the issue.
oh, we're like a comic book.
We cut to in the final set of panels there's a youngish, like 30s woman. She is in one of those big business style, big meeting hall type things. We can't see anyone else who's at this meeting. She says, well, it's regrettable that our plans for that neighborhood fell through, but we have other ways of approaching this situation.
Fell through the ceiling.
That's amazing. Well, at least our recruitment procedure is still going according to plan. Have you found any new interesting recruits recently? The final panel cuts to Astro Man in the meeting hall saying, we've found some interesting recruits and we're trying to bring them into the Aegis training program.
Oh,
Oh
no.
shit!
That's right, boys. I knew
To
something
be
was up.
continued.
Wow.
the argument.
That's also to be continued.
It's also to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess
It
we'll
has
leave
more
the.
arcs. More stuff to look
Well,
forward
thank you guys.